Most gracious, most merciful Master of the Day of Law, Maliki Yawmi Din, remarks, the verse, Malik Yawmid Din, is normally translated as Master of the Day of Judgment. Malik means master. Yawm means day. But Din does not mean judgment. Din means law. The word is found in Aramaic and Hebrew as well, where it clearly means law. So proper and honest translation of Yawmid Din should be Day of Law. So I have translated the verse as Master of the Day of Law. The universe evolves according to the laws of the nature. Allah fixed the laws on a day, leading the evolution. So He is the Master of the Day of Law. The initial configuration of the universe may have been chosen by God, or it may itself have been determined by the laws of science. In either case, it would seem that everything in the universe would then be determined by evolution, according to the laws of science. Is everything determined by Stephen Hawking in Black Holes and Baby Universes and Other Essays? Bantam Book O, 553406639. According to the verses under discussion, Allah is the Master of the Day of Law. Figure 1.13, Cyclic Universe and the Days of Law. In light of the Quran, the universe had 2 days of law, one at the beginning of preceding cycle, first cycle, and one at the beginning of present cycle, second cycle. And if the present universe collapses and reinitiates again, third cycle, the reviving universe, new universe, too, will have a day of law, coming day of law, at the beginning. See figure 1.13 above. Understanding the day of law, Yawmid Din, is important to know the God's model of the universe, Samawat. How it relates to our fates, and why should we pray, guide us to the straight path. It is discussed under the following headings. 1. Effects of the day of law and evolution. 2. The role of Evolver God. 3. Cyclic universe, Samawat, and the days of law. 4. Approaching events of the third day of law. 5. Conclusion. 1. Effects of the day of law and evolution. A seed forms a tree. Similarly, the initial universe was configured to form the universe of today. It is better understood by the idea of Stephen Hawking. There should exist a set of laws that completely determines the evolution of the universe from its initial state. Yet how can a certain number of equations account for the complexity and trivial detail that we see around us? Can one really believe that the grand unified theory has determined that Sinead O'Connor will be the top of the hit parade this week, or that Madonna will be on the cover of Cosmopolitan? Is everything determined by Stephen Hawking in Black Holes and Baby Universes and Other Essays? Bantam Book O, 553406639. To come to a solution, Hawking suggests, in the very early universe, everything was very close together, so there was quite a lot of uncertainty, and there were a number of possible states for the universe. These different possible early states would have evolved into a whole family of different histories for the universe. There would be a history in which the Nazis won the Second World War, though the probability was low. But we just happen to live in a history in which the Allies won the war, and Madonna was on the cover of Cosmopolitan. Hawking suggests that the trivial details of the universe arose from the uncertainty principle. The idea is ridiculous. Hawking himself was not satisfied with his explanation, as he wrote, "I don't claim any great originality or depth, but it is the best I can do at the moment." He added that, "It doesn't make much difference whether this determinism is due to an omnipotent God or to the laws of science. Indeed, one could always say that the laws of science are the expression of the will of God." When Adam and Eve descended, they got suitable sun, earth, moon, plants, animals, water, and atmosphere. Everything had grown step by step before they came. If the laws and the initial configuration of the universe were little different, such kind of earth could not produce. There are more than 92 elements in the earth. Each follows desirable laws. All act harmoniously to support our lives. Minor deviations would cause total failure. Allah set the laws and the initial configuration of universe on the day of law. Thus, the evolution of the universe has been set. Now everything stands on a time scale, and our fates have got determined. Each event stands on the past and impacts the future. A change from the determined path cannot come to reality. These things are to me immensely strange. Is it not extraordinary that the possibility of talking here this afternoon depends on events which were very narrowly determined over 10,000 million years ago in the very earliest moments of the universe? Dawn of a New Era by Sir Bernard Lovell in the Encyclopedia of Space Travel and Astronomy. However, in Islamic view, the laws and initial configuration of the universe have not decided our fates. Rather than our fates have decided the laws and initial configuration of the universe. It is done in the following way. Hadith. The fate of everybody was written 50,000 years before the creation. Tirmizi. Allah had made a dynamic virtual universe in his computer as the master design, before he started the creation of real universe. We were created in the virtual universe from our nafses and genome codes. A genome is an organism's complete set of DNA, including all of its genes. Our nafses, souls, were energized with our virtual physiques, created from our genome codes. Thereafter, we passed our virtual lives in a virtual holographic earth. The virtual universe and the virtual earth were adjusted to fulfill our needs. Our fates of the real lives were written from our virtual lives. If one is a king, one was determined to be the king before the day of law. From that virtual universe, Allah may have found out the best possible laws and initial configuration of the real universe. Note: the Quran talks about the pen, the save disk, and the mother of the book, motherboard. These are parts of the computer. The computer, the master design, and the fate are deliberately discussed in Section 9 of Chapter 6.2. The role of Evolver God Allah is not only the master of the day of law, he is sustainer and evolver as well. It would be absurd to think that all the radiations up to Cambrian evolution had been loaded on the days of law. There were multiple infusions of new information along the way of biological evolution. A living cell is unimaginably complex. There could not be enough information in the initiating universe to build the genome. Allah created the first living creature in the water. Thus, the creation of the universe and the creation of living creatures are presented in the Quran as separate acts of Allah, as the following verse states. Do not the unbelievers see that the skies and the lands were joined together before we clove them asunder? We made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe? Al-Quran 21:30. Allah created the living things in the water and developed the land-dwelling animals through 4 stages. Waterborne creatures, reptiles, creepers, 2-legged creatures, flying dinosaurs and birds, and finally 4-legged creatures, mammals, as the following verse says, and Allah has created every animal from water, stage 1. Of them there are some that creep on their bellies, stage 2, some that walk on 2 legs, stage 3, and some that walk on 4, stage 4. Allah creates what He wills, for verily Allah has power over all things. Al-Quran 24:45. Paleontologists who study fossils to understand the evolution of species find the same sequence of evolution in land-dwelling creatures, but humans are not result of biological evolution. Allah created Adam and Eve in the higher universe and descended them on the earth later at a suitable time. The biological evolution and the missing link are deliberately discussed in Section 12 of Chapter 24, referring to the verses of the Quran. Allah is highly powerful, intelligent, and capable, but He is one and the universes are very big. So He designed the initial creations on the day of law to evolve according to His plan. Now He sustains and monitors mainly point 3. Cyclic universe, samawat, and the days of law. The following verses mention that there were lands, dusts, and asteroids in the initial universe. Do not the unbelievers see that the skies and the lands were joined together before we clove them asunder? Big bounce. Al-Quran 21:30. He the one who created for you what was in the assembly of lands, Mafi Ardi Jamian, moreover infused his force, gravitational force, Thuma Istawa, into the sky, Ila Isamai, and fashioned them into 7 skies, and He of everything is all-knowing. Al-Quran 2:29. The initial universe could have had heavier elements to form the land masses, dusts, and asteroids if it started from a big bounce. If the universe started from a big bounce, it is cyclic. Preceding the present expanding phase, there was a contracting phase, and before that, another expanding phase. This cycle of expansion and contraction might have been going on forever. If the universe is cyclic, it is eternal. There is no need of a creator. Surprisingly, the Quran, being a divine book, highlights that the universe is cyclic. But it clearly indicates that the universe was created in the preceding cycle, first cycle, and we are living in the second cycle. The Quran says what Allah did in the preceding cycle, what He is doing in the present cycle, and what He will do in the next cycle. Each cycle has a day of law at the beginning. 3a. First day of law in the preceding cycle, first cycle, the universe could evolve from singularity. The singularity is defined as a super hot, super dense point where the natural laws break down. The singularity at the beginning of the universe is called Big Bang. We may start the story from the time just after the beginning of the first cycle, when the temperature of the universe, primordial fireball, was 1,000,000,000 degrees. Matter could not exist at that state. It was in the form of radiation. As the universe expanded and the temperature reduced, the radiation turned into matter. Scientists calculate that initially the simplest form of matter, hydrogen, was created. Later, 25% of the hydrogen turned into helium, with a small amount of lithium. The primordial fireball contained the reactions which led to the present distribution of hydrogen and helium, 75% and 25% respectively, a balance that explains the evolution of stars. Very small changes in the nature of the primordial fireball would have had an immense effect on the universe. If certain atomic forces had been only slightly greater, then all the hydrogen would have become an isotope of helium, and no long-lived stars could exist as they do at present. They would have been explosives. Stars would have formed, but they would have used up all their energy in a very short time. There would have been no star like the sun, which gives an output of energy for thousands of millions of years. It is only with the stability on this timescale the life can evolve. If things had been just a little bit different at the beginning, therefore, there could have been no life, and the universe would be unknowable. Dawn of a New Era by Sir Bernard Lovell in the Encyclopedia of Space Travel and Astronomy, edited by John Mann. Figure 1.14, Periodic Table. Scientists predict that the Big Bang produced hydrogen and helium mainly, with a small amount of lithium. But the Quran says that there was smoke in the initial universe of the first cycle, thumma istawa. Moreover, extended and infused his force, ila isamai, into the sky, the single sky universe of the first cycle, while it had been smoke. Al-Quran 41-11-12. It means that in the initial universe of the first cycle, at least the elements up to carbon were created. The universe, samawat, evolved from the Gut force. The Gut force was a part of a soul single, nafsan wahidatin, that Allah had provided from His own soul, nafs, to create the universes, samawat, jannat, arsh, etc. It is He who has produced you from a soul single. Nafsan wahidatin, here is a place of dwelling and storage. Al-Quran 6-98. The part of Nafsan wahidatin, Gut force, that produced this universe, samawat, was in the right hand of His nafs. The hand of nafs, comprises the force fields, elementary souls, ruhs that construct the space. And the sky, single sky universe of the first cycle, we constructed it with hand of nafs, and me for expanders. Al-Quran 51-47. In above verse, by Aiden simply means with hand, but the word is normally translated with different words to match the common understanding. Initially, the hand comprised the force fields that were to act at subatomic and atomic level. Allah fragmented the Gut force, a part of Nafsan Wahidatin, and produced atomic forces and elementary particles. He designed the products to act in fixed patterns. Their acts are viewed by us as some of the natural laws. The atomic forces and subatomic particles primarily produced hydrogen and helium, with small amounts of lithium, beryllium, boron, and carbon, in simpler terms, smoke. The universe of the first cycle was uniform, single-sky universe. So the smoke produced soon after the Big Bang spread evenly throughout space. Allah then infused gravitational force, another elementary soul, Ruh of his nafs, into his hand of nafs. The gravitational force produced heavier elements, at least up to silicon, Psi. The heavier elements produced dusts and asteroids, lands. He said to it, smoke, and to the lands, dusts and asteroids, come ye together, willingly or unwillingly. They said, we do come in willing obedience. Al-Quran 41-11-12. Allah commanded the smoke and lands, dusts and asteroids to come together. So the universe started contracting. In the terminal phase, the universe was contracting rapidly. Due to the extreme pressure and temperature of contraction, the universe bounced out, big bounce, from a state of fireball, when Allah redesigned the single-sky universe into the seven-sky universe. The fireball is a non-singular state of the universe before the Big Crunch. So, he completed them as 7 skies in 2 days and inspired in each sky its affairs. Al-Quran 41-11-12. 3b. Second day of law during the Big Bounce, additional laws of the seven-sky universe, present universe, were ordained, as the above verses say, and inspired in each sky its affairs. The day Allah fixed the additional laws of the present seven-sky universe is the second day of law. The skies are supergiant waves of space, one inside another, like the peels of onion. The space got waved due to the distribution of matter. There are 7 skies. The skies ensured the balanced expansion of the universe. Due to the expanding skies, waved space, the matter could concentrate into the galaxies. There are many galaxies in each sky. The elements heavier than silicon formed into some stars of the present second cycle and scattered into the skies due to supernova explosions. The elements were parked, deposited on Earth in the form of asteroids falling from the sky in their due proportions. And we sent down the iron, wherein there is strength and many benefits for the people. Al-Quran 57-25. And he placed therein firmly set mountains. The formation of mountains needs hot iron core, and parked therein from above it, by the asteroids falling from above, and determined therein its nourishment. The elements that are provided through the falling asteroids are needed for the nourishment of living creatures, in 4 days equal, for those who ask. Al-Quran 41-10. The formation of the earth is deliberately discussed in section 3 of chapter 41. The first day of law is effective to the present cycle as well, because the second cycle started from the Big Bounce. 3c. Third day of law. So the universe had 2 days of law. The first day of law heads the single-sky universe of the first cycle, and the second day of law heads the seven-sky universe of the present cycle. In future, due to the gravitational force, the universe may collapse into a singularity. The singularity at the end of the universe is called Big Crunch. From the Big Crunch, the universe may be born again, Big Bang 2. But it is also possible that expansion of the universe will be reversed by the pull of gravity, that all matter will collapse once again into a superdense singularity, and that another universe will be born in another Big Bang, a cycle that could be repeated forever. To the Edge of Eternity by John Gribbin, in the Encyclopedia of Space Travel and Astronomy, edited by John Mann. Figure 1.15, second and third cycles of the universe. According to the Quran too, the universe will be collapsed and reproduced, as the following verse say, on the day when we will roll up the skies, samawat, this universe, like the rolling up of the scroll for writings. As we originated the first creation, Big Bang 1, we shall reproduce it, Big Bang 2, a promise on us, surely we will bring it about. Al-Quran 21-104. According to the above verse, the universe will be reproduced as the first creation was originated. The first creation was originated from a Big Bang 1. It will collapse into the Big Crunch and will restart from another Big Bang 2. That is the coming day of law, third day of law. In the coming day of law, mankind will be resurrected, ascended, and assembled for judgment on a specially created object, land of judgment in the superspace. And not they honored Allah, true honor, while on the day of resurrection, the land of judgment, is assembling in his hand, and the skies, samawat, this universe, rolled up in his right hand, hand of nafs. Glory be to him! And high is he above what they associate. Al-Quran 39-67. Resurrected humans will be moved to the new destinations, either in the recreated samawat, this universe containing the objects of hell, galaxies, or in the Jannat, another universe containing the objects of paradise, peaceful planets, to live forever as forgotten or rewarded vicegerents of God. The verse under discussion is talking about coming third day of law. The final judgment is an event of that day. So Yawm ad-Din can be identified as the day of judgment. 4. Approaching events of the third day of law. The lands are ultimate products of the universes. The Samawat, this universe, is full of galaxies. A galaxy is like a vast expanse of lands in this universe. The Jannat, another universe, too, is full of peaceful planets. Each planet is a land with ample water. Humans are being developed to be the vicegerents of God over the lands. Behold, thy Lord said to the angels, I will create a vicegerent on a land, on each land, group of lands. Al-Quran 2:30. But now on the earth, we have no power as his vicegerents. Now we are undergoing tests to confirm who deserves what. Humans will be sent to their eternal lands on the coming third day of law. The knowledge about the day will keep one informed about the situations. Otherwise, a blind will remain blind on the day of judgment as well. But those who are blind in this world will be blind in the hereafter, and most astray from the path. Al-Quran 17-72. So the knowledge about the third day of law is crucial in light of the Quran. And indeed, the wicked surely in hellfire. They will burn it, the day of law, and they are not absent from it. And what can make you know what the day of law is? Then what can make you know what the day of law is? The day not will have power a soul for a soul, anything, and the command that day with Allah. Al-Quran 82-14-19. The Messenger of Allah said, when Allah wishes good for someone, he bestows upon him the understanding of deen. Bukhari, Muslim,